literally build relationships and build surface cleaning contracts. So without any further ado, here's Leilani.
Hi guys. And just like Bill said, basically what I'm going to talk to you guys about is some basically what I used to do for Ron's company, Pro Power Wash, and that's unsolicited bidding. Some of the things that we're going to go over today are what are unsolicited bids. I'm going to go over a little bit about choosing your customer and why it's important. The bidding process, I'm going to give you guys some tricks and tips on how to foster sales. I'm going to go over the 5-point sales process that we use, and of course close the job, and then I'm going to talk about keeping the business. Does anybody know what an unsolicited proposal is?
Cold call? Sending out a price without it even asking.
Exactly. It's where you send out a bid where there was no RFP, or request for bid, given. And choosing your customers, this is always a good idea that you want to kind of concentrate on one before you just scatter yourself. Each of these have different sort of rules that you would need to follow as far as the bidding processes go. The same way that you bid property management, you're not going to bid commercial the same way. The bidding practice. Key factor in getting all the jobs, it's basically a repetitive system that you would set up. Finding potential customer information. There's plenty of ways that you can actually find customer information, especially today with technology. Google is a beautiful thing. 9 times out of 10 they give you the majority of the information. They may not necessarily give you the email of the commercial business that you're going after, but again, that's where you would do your phone calling, and because you already have the majority of the information, you're not going to spend as much time on the phone. I also handed these out at the end of your tables, if you take a look. I just went into Starbucks and got a coffee, and this is another great way of gathering the information. Because if you actually look at the Starbucks card, it gives me the store manager's name, the location, gives me the address, phone number, and then it gives me the email. And this is one of the most important things, because after this all I have to do is Google the rest of the Starbucks and then basically ask them who their store manager is and maybe their location number, and then I'm going to take the email format and just verify with them that this is your email this, and if they tell me yes, then I know that the format is correct and it's going to be the same for the rest of the stores. So when I do start calling the rest of the stores, that's another thing I don't have to ask because I already have the format for the email. So doing things like that will actually take your phone calling time down from a couple hours to just only maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and that's with calling 30 or 40 of them. Also use them for route building. If you already have an established route, stop in at the commercial route when you're on the site. Grab the card, get the manager's name, that type of stuff. With commercial, it's always really important to be resubmitting your proposals every 90 days. Commercial runs quarterly, so just because you don't get something one quarter doesn't mean they're not going to make a change in 90 days again. So about every 90 days you want to just resubmit your commercial proposals. And then these are just some of the things that we actually did to help us foster our sales. Photo demos, video demos, following up phone calls if I stopped in and already had given them a demo. Sidewalk stencils are another great way. Now I gotta actually come right over here and hit play. This is a video that we used to use, Pro Power Wash.
Hello, my name is Ron Musgraves, owner of Pro Power Wash. I would like to highlight the benefits of using our service. Pro Power Wash uses a surface cleaner on all flat concrete areas. The surface cleaner indiscriminately cleans your concrete approximately 2 inches from the surface with 2 jets of water spraying as they rotate at approximately 2200 RPM, giving your concrete a clean and uniform finish. All our hot water units are approximately 6 gallons per minute and 3,500 pounds per square inch. As you can see with our overhead view, all areas that our surface cleaner covers
Sorry guys,
are
because I'm live streaming that it's choppy.
than the typical wand technique. Using state-of-the-art equipment correctly, combined with 20 years of experience of cleaning flat surfaces, our results meet or exceed our customers' identify the demo locations.
And again, with technology nowadays, it's a lot more easier. I used to actually carry around a portable DVD player and a stack of DVDs, and after I would let them watch it, I would actually give them the DVD. Ron actually used to carry around a big TV. You have to ask him about that, but it was pretty funny. But again, it's just another, quick little way, minute-long video just to kind of spotlight what you can do. And here are just a couple examples of like a good photo versus a bad photo. Of course, the bad one you can't really even see where it was cut at all. So when you're doing your photo demos, you want to make sure that you choose a location where it's actually going to show up nice and neat and clean. And these are really cool. I loved these. You can see where we used our sidewalk stencils. And then after we would actually sell the job, we would go back and we would have the actual manager write a little testimonial on there. And then I would actually take that and go around to the rest of the Costco's and sell them off of the testimonial that I got from the first guy. And this is just some of the things that we used to do as far as our 5-point sales process. And you can really do these in any order. Personally, I would always send out a generic postcard first, just one that kind of says, hey, we're here, we service your area, call us if you need us. And then I would send an introduction letter, basically kind of going more into detail about, our history, the types of services that we offer, if we've done any special event jobs, something like that that'll help us make us stand out more. I would also include in that letter. I would even fax and then email the proposal, whichever way. If they didn't have an email, I'd fax it. If they didn't have a fax, I'd email it to them. But the other most important part is on top of that, I would actually mail it USPS, because they might have deleted their email or the secretary might have accidentally threw the fax away, but they're almost guaranteed to open that UPS mail. And then again, just walk in. Say, hey, how you doing? This is what I do. Is there a free time that you have that I can give you a demo on a side of your choice? They're going to let you know yay or nay and, go from there. The whiteboard is where we used to kind of keep track of sales. Here we used red, yellow, and blue. Blue would basically be cold or like a 3. Now I typically use a 1, 2, 3. Your 3s are the ones that are him and hawing around. They may be interested, they may not be interested. Your yellows and your 2s, those would be like, I'm on vacation this week, can you come by next week and I want to sign this. So it's not your right away ones, but you know that they are going to drop. And then your reds or your 1s are the ones, those should never actually be on your board, because those are the ones that are like, no, I want this done, I need to sign. And that's when you should be out there getting that contract signed and getting them started on their business. But again, it's just kind of a way of us to keep track of our sales and where we're at and all that fun stuff. This right here, I absolutely love this. When I used to do unsolicited bidding for Ron's company, it would take 3 girls 8 hours to send out anywhere from 30 to maybe 50 if we were lucky. Close the job, it's streamlined it so much quicker. I can actually send out about 50 in an hour versus 30 to 50 in 8 hours. It's a great tool to use, especially if you're in downtime and stuff like that, or you just have like a free hour where you're not really doing much. Blast as many as you can out. It keeps you organized. There's actually a follow-up calendar in there as well, so it lets you know when you submitted the proposal, and then a week out later it'll actually give you a reminder to go in and recheck on that proposal. So that's a definitely cool tool. The best thing is UAMCC contributing members, you actually get a discount on the program. You get a monthly discount on the program. And David Carroll does offer you guys a free trial period. So when you go home, go ahead, sign up for the free trial, give it a shot, see how you like it. And then keeping the business. Follow up after your first visit. Me personally, I used to like to walk the spot. I would actually go and walk the property with the manager because they love to give advice. And this is also another way that you can actually build a relationship with this manager. Ask them questions. How do they feel about the service that you provided? Is there anything that you can do to improve your service for their property? People love to give advice, and all that's going to do is going to help you better your team and better your efficiency, and they're going to let you know exactly what they need and what they want. At that point too, You can ask for a referral. Hey, do you know anybody else that could use my services? Oh yeah, you know, my coworker down the street, you know, his guy, you know, is kind of flaking off, or is not that clean, or you know, whatever the excuse is. You go down there, you let them know, hey, I just did this guy's property. Make sure you take the photos, before and after photos of the properties as well. You can even do a follow-up phone call. Like I said, I'm more hands-on. I like to go, I like to build the relationship with that person. And over the phone, it's not as personable as you actually going out there and walking them through it. Kind of just let you know that that you care. Anybody have any questions? No? Oh, Kevin?
You know, how do you price? Pricing is the biggest thing.
Pricing?
You know, I don't do that much commercial,
Mhm.
but I'd like to get into the commercial.
What?
But I'm not like, the gentleman over there just, like he stated, 40,000 square feet of concrete. I wouldn't even know where to begin on that. I mean, it's just,
Well, how much concrete how many square feet can you clean in an hour?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, about on average, like with Ron's company and stuff like that, they can do about 5,000 square feet. So I would take, you know, basically 40,000, divide that. That's going to let me know how many hours I'm going to be on that property, especially dealing with property management. With commercial, a lot of it's cookie cutters like Walgreens. You know, they all pretty much have the exact same, you know, square foot of concrete. So if you're going after all of the Walgreens when you're submitting the bids, and you know it's going to take you 2.5 hours to clean every single one of them, you're going to come up with a set price just for those Walgreens, and when you're bidding it, you're just going to give them like the 15-day, 30-day, 60-day, and let them choose which package that they want. So, but a lot of the commercial stuff like that, even with gas stations, restaurants, they're all pretty much, you know, your Applebee's are all going to be about the same concrete. Your Costco's are going to be about the same concrete on your storefronts. Where they might throw you is if they have like a dumpster pad or something else like that, and then again, you know what it takes you to clean a dumpster pad, so you would just add that on
Now, when
there.
you're sending out these bids to all these companies, I mean, are you actually going out there with a wheel and prior to and seeing how much concrete they have, or?
Back in the day, yeah. Back in the day, yes. I actually measured the city of Tucson, and I did some re-verification and measuring in Phoenix. Luckily, I was really lucky because, you know, I worked for Ron and his company was already pretty well established. So most of the time when I was out measuring, it was just a verification, making sure they didn't add anything new or whatnot.
Yeah, you know what, I feel for you because it's not easy in the beginning, but if you bid everything the same, you get caught, because concrete or any building is so different. That's why you gotta go in the beginning and look at it, because if you were just doing pure concrete and there was nothing else but gum on it, the difference in cost and time from sporadic gum, I'll show you pictures later. I did a job on a tiny strip. There was more gum than concrete. It must have, I don't think it was ever done. It was in a real rough neighborhood, and I went.
And there have been places where when I've came onto their site, especially if I'm hand delivering bids and stuff like that, if they were covered in gum, I would give them an initial cleaning price and let them know that, hey, the first time that we come out and clean this is what it's going to cost us because you are covered in gum.
And you're entitled to do that. Like we did one up in like Princeton area, and which is a ride for us, right? So you got an hour each way. You get there, you're working in the middle of the night, and I said, the first cleaning is going to cost you, it was horrible. And I said, it's going to, I mean, for the footage, it was going to be around, let's call it 3,000. If you clean it 2 to 3 times a season, we'll do it for, you know, once a quarter. The more frequently you clean it, the cheaper I'll do it. You know, so let's say if it's a $3,000 cleaning because it's a mess, once I get it up to par, which is going to take all kinds of stain removal and rust removal, and then after that maybe it's $2,200 or $2,000 because we can get in and out. We run 3-4 machines, we're out in a couple hours and we're done, right? First time you're there for 8 hours trying to clean it, it makes a big difference.
And some of the places that I've sold have been like that, where I've literally tripled, you know, the initial cleaning off of the maintenance because we were going to be there. It might take 2 nights. You know, it could take us 10, 12 hours just to clean it the first time just because of how dirty and how much gum and grease and everything else that they have.
Plus, you know what else is funny? Be careful with Google Earth, because when you're doing commercial, the footage adds up in a minute. You know, you're looking at this footage, and when you're doing it overhead, if you can't get a front view, sometimes they're set back off the road.
And
you can't. There's overhangs, and you miss footage. The difference between a 1,000-foot run at 7 feet and a 1,000-foot run at 10 is a big number. I mean,
And with the Google Earth too, and the Street View and stuff like that, another thing that you need to do if you're going to be using that for your bidding is see when the actual video of that was taken.
oh yeah.
Because if I do a Street View on my house, it has like the person's cars that are sitting in my driveway lived in my house 4 years ago. So they don't even live there anymore or anything else like that. So if you are using like Google Earth or Google Street Views or anything else like that, you definitely want to check the date in which that part was actually taken, because it could be something completely different by the time you're actually looking at it.
With that, you could use with the close a job, you can take that aerial view and snapshot that then if you go, and
Yes.
it's different than that. Well, here's what this was based off of.
Yes.
With your unsolicited proposals, it sounds like more flat work and concrete. Are you also then putting in other pricing for other items?
Depends. It really depends. Like I'll put, if I know that they have a dumpster pad on site, I'll include the dumpster pad where they just initial off on it.
I mean, what about walls around?
Typically at that point, if
Windows.
they're contacting me and they sign it, again, that would when we would do the pre-call before we come out and clean the first time, just to make sure that we're getting all of the areas that they want. So like it's say I get a bid back, it's signed, I'm gonna go ahead and call them, hey, I just received your signed bid. I understand that we're gonna be doing, your storefront sidewalks, you wanted your dumpster pad done. Is there anything else on your site that you would like me to add to this bid? And again, they're gonna let you know, well, you know what, my awnings really need to be hit, can you hit my awnings too? And then you would, of course, adjust your bid, resubmit it, and then have that come back signed. And another important thing with unsolicited is you only want to send the bid. Don't send your insurance forms, don't send any other paperwork, only the bid. If you send in more than just that one piece of paper, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to toss it in the trash. So you never ever want to send any of that information, wait for them to contact you, and then you can go ahead and submit all the rest of that information, before and after photos, whatnot, your business license if they require it, or your insurance if they require it. But yeah, with unsolicited, you're only sending out the bid, and that's it.
When you were doing the coffee house, Starbucks, they all have different footprints. So were you were visiting them all, or you were?
I would actually just walk into one. Like I said, it was actually, if you look at the card that I gave you, this one's from Nursery Road here in Maryland. Because I just stopped and got a cup of coffee and I grabbed them because I forgot my other ones from my class. But yeah, basically at this point, the main important information on this card is that email format. That's what I'm looking for.
But when you're sending out, like using the service, right? You're actually sending out a bid.
Yes.
So do you guys prep the bids by going on Google Earth and getting a feel for how much footage, taking a look so you can put a number on each one individually?
Again, this is where I was really lucky with Ron with Established Company. You pretty much knew how much concrete was on them.
He had them all already.
Yeah, you pretty much had them all already. And like if we're going to do a Starbucks, I would actually give them their sidewalks, and then I would make a separate line for their drive-through, because they may not want their drive-through done, but they may want their sidewalks done. So I'll actually break it down and just have them initial to what services that they actually want.
I mean, well, why I'm asking is, most of the Starbucks where we're at are in strips.
Yeah.
On the end, some they'll have a drive-through on the end, or they may have outdoor seating, and some of them are huge, and others
Yeah,
are
patio
small.
areas and stuff.
So I don't think we could just give like a universal price. You'd actually have to sit there and
Yeah,
just
that you would definitely want to take a look at. Google Earth to see exactly how much concrete they really do have, and then adjust your pricing accordingly.
Would you ever put it based off of, assuming this location is X thousand square feet? Because obviously, yeah, they've got the outside dining area, and you've said that for all the different areas. I mean, do you put not a limit, but this is assuming that your square footage is between? No.
No.
Okay.
Any other questions? Oh, good.
When you go and you see a store like this, do you typically go to the store first, or do you look around to see who owns the property and then try to?
I'll just go to the store.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm hitting property management, then of course, you know, I'm gonna measure the site and I'm gonna find the property management first, but before I even leave the site, I'm gonna hit every single commercial place, freestanding place that they have in their parking lot.
Okay.
Because again, that's just gonna help build your route. If you're already on the site, why not clean everything?
One thing we've come across, besides, you know, like when we, do proposals, besides square footage of the concrete and, you know, estimating cone, is water availability.
Yeah, and again, that should be on your checklist for your workers, you know, things to check, or for your salespeople. Is there water? Do I have to transport water? You know, do they have a dry well on site? Do I have to reclaim? So that's like kind of all the stuff that your salespeople are gonna look at what they should be looking at on every single site that you go to. You know, where's the water located, all of that.
What's water reclaim worth a square foot? Like, in other words,
That I have no clue. Who reclaims in here? They could probably tell you.
Well, see, I think there's a lot more than just that simple question. 'Cause it really depends on what you're doing. Are you hauling the water off? Are you bioremediating it on site?
well, they want, I mean, we don't, I'm assuming that it's coming our way, right? I mean, that they want more and more of that, that's gonna keep happening, so right now it's not a real big issue of where we're at, but.
Did you ask them that?
What's that?
If they want you to have a water reclaimer on the side, are they willing to pay for the reclaimer?
This is my point. In other words, like we were saying with Walmart's, they're famous for wanting reclaim because they've been in the news about it, and when you go and talk to them, when they give you their requirements, they want you to, but they don't want to pay the price. I mean, the price they want it done is cheaper than what regular surface cleaning.
What is it that they want to pay? 5 cents a square? Maybe 3?
That's exactly the way it should go. The way it should go is you need to know whether or not there needs to be reclaim on the property, and then you educate them.
You have to
and how.
that.
Right, not whether or not they want it done. That's not the way, because the property owner's the one's gonna get fined, but you're still gonna get in trouble, and your name's still gonna end up on that.
A simple thing that's going to stop them from getting fined. Just a very simple thing. Know where your drain is. Know where to go. And once you dam them, you're okay. You're within law.
So as long, yeah, Matt, we'll put a berm up to protect it from hitting there and capturing any of the hopefully free oils and all that. But we're not reclaiming for the most part. I mean,
No, because some job does not require reclaim.
Right.
You're not near a river.
You have to go online and look up your EPA region,
yeah,
and they will tell you exactly what they want.
they're not.
Or
Good luck trying to call the office, because they're not going to call you back.
Yeah,
but
go
if you go by the actual, your EPA regions, like for instance, like everyone knows California is a lot more strict than a lot of areas.
Go to
out there.
BASMA.com. That they out of San Francisco.
Actually, and also I have on the UAMCC forum, if you type in suggested links by state, I have actually gone through and I've grabbed a lot of the BMPs from like the EPA and stuff like that. You just need to look under your state. But yeah, I have a lot of those already in there for you, and it's just right there on the UAMCC forum. Just scroll down, find your state, and there's like about 5 to 6 links per state, and it's talking about stormwater, BMPs, whole 9 yards. It's something that the environmental team helps put together as well. So that's another good source for you guys to be able to go and visit too.
And the other thing too, like Everett was saying, is we need to be able to educate. Okay, Walmart says you have to have reclaim. Well,
Yeah, but the question is, Walmart is going to pay you for the reclaim.
Because the reason I'm just bringing this up right now, this is just a generality, but Walmart corporate, the head guys said because somebody in Houston wasn't reclaiming, or that's where it started.
Yeah.
So now, in order to do any of their properties, because they don't want to get fined, you have to do reclaim.
Yeah.
Actually, it was before Houston.
Well,
but what happens is a large company like Walmart, they
Yeah.
hire somebody, and they have to have a reason for their job, and they come up with the RFP. Houston
Right.
was something else, but that Walmart
Well, no, what I'm
RFP
just
was,
saying is-
I was part of that.
Yeah.
Walmart one was way before that.
But with the Walmarts there, They're just saying, okay, you have to have the reclaim. Well, yes, we have to reclaim, but they don't understand what that means,
Yeah.
okay? The reclaim doesn't mean reclaim, recycle. That when we leave, that there's no water on site from our operation. Proper reclamation means that we divert the water, we push it out onto the landscaping, whatever, okay?
Which is allowed.
Which is allowed, okay? And when we
Properly
leave,
drained.
yes, there's gonna be water still on the parking lot, but that's proper because it's not leaving the property, which is what the law is.
As long as it's not going down a storm drain, you're,
Right.
you did, you
As long as
protected
we're
everything.
It's
protecting
depends
the
what kind of
storm
storm.
Does
drain.
anybody have any more questions for me? No? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.